Flosstube, welcome back to my channel. I'm Katie. Today's episode, Flosstube number 17. Welcome back in. Hope everyone's doing well. Since last episode was a whip parade. Y'all saw everything that I have in progress right now. So it's going to be a fairly short episode because, unfortunately, I mentioned at least once in the last video that I've been having a little bit of shoulder pain, and it did actually unfortunately get quite bad at one point. So I was ultimately referred to an orthopedist and will be starting physical therapy in a month. I'm a little surprised that it's that serious and that bad, but it is what it is. So I'm going to be dialing back because I do tend to go a little bit overboard when I get in a groove. I just go and I don't do anything else. So taking more breaks, being a little more intentional and trying to find other things to do because the cross stitch apparently is aggravating whatever is going on in this shoulder. And we'll find out soon, I suppose. So that was a really long way of saying that I don't have a ton of cross stitch updates, or in general. I have been playing a lot of Polya. That game is really addicting. I knew I should have, there was a reason I was resisting it, because now I'm like sucked in. So that has kind of taken a little bit of a substitute place in my free time. Since I have to be mindful of some things now. And yeah, long story short, doing less cross stitching. So it's a little bit of a bummer, but it's already feeling better with a little bit of anti-inflammatories, so I am optimistic. So, after that little life update, let's go ahead and get started on the whips. So in my last episode in the whip parade, I mentioned that, well, I mentioned two things actually, so I'm going to show you. I mentioned that on July 4th, with the day I was filming, I had planned to work on, I just unfolded it after it was neatly folded, the Freedom Motif Sampler. And I did get in a good 250 some stitches on it that day, which for me is pretty good. This is it's an easy project to work on. I can't describe exactly, but it seems to go sort of quick. I also whipped out my basic little sewing machine and did a zigzag stitch over the edge of this fabric because this was giving me the worst fraying ever, and it was just getting really annoying. So that should nip that in the bud. And you can see the basket, the motif is a like basket of watermelon. I couldn't tell what it was while I was like really in it, but then when I looked at the cover picture, it's clearly a watermelon. You can see the green skin and like the lighter alternating red colors. It's really pretty. I'm using all of the called for DMC that Nuri called for, and this is on a 16 count Ada from Witchold in the color Latte. It's just a perfect neutral. It's really soft and it's really been a joy to work on. It feels very like breezy and low stress and just very nice to work on. So 2 thumbs up. I'm very seriously considering a handful more of her patterns at this time. She's got some really good ones. So I'll link below to Nuri's, her Gumroad and her Instagram and things like that, so you can find where you can get this pattern, because you really should. It's great. And so that was the Freedom Motif Sampler. I haven't worked on it since July 4th, so it'll be pulled out soon. The one that did have almost all of my attention, and I know you know what it's going to be, was the Arctic Animal cell. And I have come to a decision about this one, kind of. I'll show you what it is, where I am. There's a walrus. He's almost done. Need the name tag and some back stitching. Still haven't done the back stitching on part 2. Clue 3 has already dropped, and it's very cute. And I have decided that for my own sanity, I'm not going to try and get caught up. I'm pretty pleased with where I am, considering that I got the kit and made the decision to buy the kit late. I started quite a good 2 weeks after everyone else. So add on top of that I'm just not a fast stitcher at all. I'm really happy with this progress, and I'm not going to neglect my other projects in favor of saying that I'm caught up. I think that is part of the reason why my shoulder started being in pain, because it was just furiously stitching to try and get caught up, and it was silly. So I will work on this when I get to it. It's okay. So yeah, I'm still really loving this pattern. They're still my favorite designers. I just next time I'll order the kit sooner, because I'm positive I will do their next year's. But details, this is a little Zubat, or not Zubat, it's a Bat Quirky Quaker needle miter from Fangirl Fibers. And the casual linen, this is a casual linen from Picture This Plus in the color Nocturne. It's a 28 count. And I will say, I think I've gotten over the struggles I had with trying to figure out where my stitches go on this. Like, I know and can see better and pick out, with the help of my OttLite, the appropriate places to put my needle. So that is a little bit smoother. I still had to rip out plenty. Yeah, this guy's rock had a bunch of issues. You can see the pattern. It's so wild to me, because when I'm really up close in it, it is not like coming through. It's like what this is supposed to look like. But when I pull it further back, it's clear. The pattern, right? Like in the rock and everything. So yeah, I might make less mistakes if I kind of took note of what the actual like design is, but I don't. So that being said, I do love this pattern. They're super duper cute. Some back stitching would make them like really more defined. But it's all good. I'm gonna pause for some water. Alrighty, my next project is also some fabric that I ended up doing the zigzag stitch on to try and get the fraying under control. I'm pretty sure I have worked on this since the last episode. If I haven't, then it's just, that's okay. But I did get a little bit done more in Song of Nuruz from Marumi Designs. And I love it so much. It's a beautiful pattern. This is a dyeing for cross stitch in the color Cherry Blossom. This is DMC 326, and the gray is DMC 3799. Excuse me, I want to scratch my nose. And then the quote says, "Believe in spring, start again, bloom." It's a quote from Rumi, poet from the Middle Ages, long, long ago. But this is just a beautiful sentiment. I do love a fresh beginning and looking forward and learning from the past, etc. So that one really spoke to me. I loves it. And yeah, we're like going lightning fast through these. Like I said, this will be a short episode. I just wanted to hop on and stay consistent and share with you a little bit of life. So yeah, this should be fairly rapid fire. So moving on to my last cross stitch whip. This one had been a little bit neglected. You can tell from the bag. It's a sticky stitch. It's Tonight We Ride. Okay. So I grabbed this out of timeout last night. We have been having very stormy, rainy weather here. I don't know if you can hear the rain right now outside, but it has been rather stormy again today. So it was kind of one of those, it was a dark and stormy night vibes going on. The weather was just really nasty and lightning and loud thunder and tons of rain. So I thought, what perfect time to grab a spooky / cozy stitch, because that's what I think of for this pattern for my project and when I would tend to work on it. So I pulled it out last night after my after work nap, and I did a little bit. That's her shoe. She looks like she's hanging on. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Maybe I did mess that up really bad, because she seems like she's hanging onto the broom really weirdly. We'll see how the pattern comes together. So I filled in more of her dress and her little boot there. And then I wanted to come down into an area that had not been started yet, and I could kind of get more of a fresh start and work on the rest of this house. It goes out to about here, where the page, the page line is. So I did a little bit of this last night, and it's just adorable. It's already getting to be that time. It's kind of crazy. So this is on a 16 count Ada as well from Stitch Me in the color Pumpkin Patch. And I think you can still get this fabric, but this came in the Autumn Lane Stitchery Halloween box from 2022. Yes. So this is an entirely paper pattern. I have a little bit of data on it in my Notion, but it's not accurate in the least, especially because some of the numbers in here are not right. So even though I'm marking all of them off as crossed as done, it's not really the same number of stitches. So my stitch count's going to be way off, and that's okay. I think it still looks okay. So I still love it. Yeah, and it's raining quite a lot right now. I was going to go to the grocery store after this, but now I don't think so. So I'm probably going to go prop myself up in the recliner and work on this when I'm done here. I do like that plan. Okay, those are all of the cross-stitch projects that I worked on in the past 2 weeks. So let's move on to knitting. So in here we have don't need that anymore. This is the love note, and I have gotten really bad at not including a progress marker on my projects to illustrate how much I've actually done. But I'll hold it up and show you. I think I've gotten at least an inch in since I last worked on it. Probably about 2 inches left. It's really great just stockinette, mindless stitching. I don't have to focus too hard. It's going so well. Oh wait, no, I lied. I did lie. Ha! I did put it. I couldn't see it. It's in a weird spot. So I was definitely way off. I did that's like a half an inch, almost an inch. Looks like about 5-6 rows. So there we have it. I knew it wasn't crazy. I really thought I put one on there. So yeah, this is a great pattern. This is Love Note from Tin Can Knits. Really like their patterns. They're super good. I think next time they have any kind of sale, I will grab some more. I really like them. The yarn I'm using for this project is from Treehouse Knits. And there's Truffula Cashmere and what is the sock yarn? Truffula Cashmere and Spruce Sock. So 75 merino, 25 nylon, and 81% superwash merino, 19% cashmere. They're both superwash merino in this one. This is getting fairly hollow. in the middle, and I'm kind of curious how much more after the stockinette is going to be on this body, because I'm still on my first 2 balls that are held double. So I'm kind of curious to see how much yarn I have left on this, which is better than not having enough, because I tend to over order because I am so afraid of running out of yarn when it's like a limited production like that. So since I am knitting the crop version, I think I'll be okay. It won't be the end of the world. It'll just be very short sleeves. Okay, and then next, this one has kind of, this is a love-hate one at this point. I have a feeling this is going to end up looking like a Franken sweater. So I'm on the sleeve, and I have been steadily decreasing to like my elbow region. Since we last met, I've done a good inch. And obviously when it's only 50 some stitches around, it'll go very quickly. So really pleased with the progress. I do kind of suspect, I don't know how wearable this is going to be in the grand scheme of things. I'm just finishing it because I kind of want to have it as like a look how far I've come sort of thing. If it looks cute, I'll be really happy, but I just want to finish it. The pattern calls for like 3/4 sleeve, so that's why I'm feeling a little lost, because it doesn't really give you instructions on like the rate of decreases you need to do to fit your arm and stuff like that, which is a lot of math. So I've been winging it. This should be a very interesting sleeve when it's done. So pretty pleased though. It is really nice, just mindless potato chip knitting, right? And then last but not least, we have come to the end of the whips. I give it its own new bag, the Bridget hat. I think since the last video, and the last time I worked on this, it might be inside out. Yeah. I've done several rows, probably about 6 or 7 rows. I'm on row 9. I'm on the setup row before you start the hat pattern with the cables. So I'm in the middle. I'm almost done with this round. I was in the middle of some complicated make one purlwise for this one. I haven't been able to find a good substitute for that, so I've just been following the pattern and using those where she calls for them. It is slow going with that particular increase. My stitch count is good. These stitch markers for every repeat was a brilliant idea, if I say so myself, and I can't believe I didn't think of it sooner, but I'm glad I have it now. So I'll be starting the body soon, maybe this weekend, maybe next week sometime, and hope to wear it this fall and maybe even have matching mitts, although I'm not going to commit to that because I know better. So that's where it is. This is a really stretchy ribbing for the brim. It's a top, bottom down, bottom up. It's bottom up. Regular old hat. And DK yarn from Plymouth in the color Wisteria. DK Superwash Merino. 100% Superwash Merino wool. In the color Wisteria. It's a little more grapey purple in person. It's leaning very blue, blurply. Here. So, look, my nails match my needle stoppers. So, that is that. And that is the last of my whips that I can easily show you. That's the last of my knitting whips. I do have one sort of update of something I have worked on. I haven't mentioned it in a while. So I'm going to pause here and grab it, and we can talk about it. So, you may recall that I started this book nook 2 Christmases ago? I don't even remember now. So my boyfriend gently pointed it out that it has been a while and it's still not done. So I decided to add into the rotation once I made the decision to reduce the amount of stitching I've been doing. And this is pretty gentle on my shoulder. Doesn't use a ton of that, so I can glue the pieces together and stick them in here. I have had some troubles with this. The light, I could not get this to go all the way. It's supposed to be more flush with that little lampshade, and it just would not go. Same with this lamppost. It's supposed to be further in. So that's kind of a criticism I have. It's very difficult for some of these things to poke through these pre-drilled holes. It's been a little hard, but overall, I think it's adorable, and I can't wait to see it on our new bookshelves. That's the back with the wires, and the battery is in here. So I've got a little bit left on this, and then so I'll keep you updated on this guy as well, hoping to not neglect it so much, but no promises. So that's what it will look like on my bookshelf. It's really cute. Little coffee shop in my house. Okay, and the last thing is kind of hard to show because it's very, very large. So I'll insert a picture of my diamond painting that I've worked on. I did get a good couple of sections done over the long 4th of July weekend after I started having shoulder problems. So it's going to be a little bit more of that coming forward. I did make a very bold declaration that this will be done before winter with DAC. I don't think that's too unrealistic, and I hope to stick to that and get it done. So I've got about 2 rows left. It's a lot of color blocking. It's really fun, and I'll take a picture of it from the top down and put it in here. The picture is A Beautiful Day at St. Terre from Chuck Pinson. Is the artist, and then I bought the kit from DAC. So I'm very, very close to finishing it. Especially since so much of it is color blocking, and then I guess next would be to frame it. So that really is the last of my whips. The only haul that I really have is a pre-order. I did go ahead and order the Birb Box for 2025 from Mislaid Pages. That was a no-brainer. Run, don't walk to get that. If it is still available, definitely get one if you haven't already. I intend to get one every year. So I can't wait. I'm really excited for that one. And I'll link to Mislaid Pages' social media and her shop and everything for the Birb Box so you can get one too. I did go to Joann's a couple weekends ago and get some fabric because since I'm kind of having to find other ways to let my creativity out and being a little more conscious of that, I decided I was going to work on fully finishing this pattern, Happy Summer, from the Frosted Pumpkin that I finished last summer. And I do want to turn it into a pumpkin. I have a basic pillow form that I also bought at that time. It's just a blank white square pillow, so it's nothing really that interesting to show. But I do want to turn it into a pillow. And I bought some fabric because I was looking for something beachy. And I got these kind of scale looking one, and then these are all like quilting calicos, like a fat quarter. And I just like the purple on that one. It's not particularly beachy. It's just like flowers. Then these fish, is it just me, or does it remind you of the fish from the book that I think all of us millennials, 80s kids read about the rainbow fish with the glittery scale? They look just like that. I think They're probably angelfish, but the colors and everything really reminded me of that story that I read all the time when I was a kid. So I'm going to play with these and kind of figure out. I have tons of tutorials saved on YouTube for pillow finishes. So I think these will look really good together. Very beachy, oceany colors. I was kind of hoping for something with like palm trees and sand castles, but I just didn't see anything. So I think this was a good option. So I don't know if I'll end up using all of these, but I'm going to play around with the configuration and stuff like that. So I do have some things that have been finished for a while that I haven't done anything with, so I'm going to work on figuring out what to do with those moving forward. Other than that, the only other thing would be the books and TV shows that I have been consuming. I was working along the Heroes of Olympus series from Rick Riordan, and I'm about halfway through the House of Hades, and then Libby sent me my hold for One Dark Window from Rachel Gillig, and I have heard so many good things, and I didn't want my hold to lapse. I have had a couple of holds lapse while I was trying to get through the Heroes of Olympus, which I'm kind of bummed about, but this one I just didn't want to let slip through my fingers. So I've been reading One Dark Window from Rachel Gillig. I'm not even 100 pages in yet, but so far I'm enjoying it. I'm very intrigued. I have some predictions. We will see if I'm right. I predict, well, I won't say what I predict in case someone's never read this before or anything like that, or in case I'm wrong. But I'll let you know if I was right. So I have some predictions. I'm really enjoying that. And that really is all she wrote. That's everything I have to share with you guys. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. I'd love to hear from you. And take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.